Grand Rising Collective, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So I just decided to do this reading sporadically. There's something going on in the collective energy. I'm going to phrase things very particularly phrase them. Just gonna be choosing my words carefully, okay, with this reading. So I just want the collective to have their tuning ears on and be listening, okay? Because I can't say like everything in this reading that I'm channeling. This is a channeled message. I do not know any of this for a fact. I'm stating that as a disclaimer before I make this video. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell the collective is breaking a generational curse is not just a habit. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to call it a generational curse. Breaking curses on your life are not just generational curses. Okay? You need to, like, if you have, okay, oh my God, I just want to organize my thoughts here because I didn't write anything down. So, let me just back up a little bit. It's not just about breaking generational curses. It's about breaking all curses that are on your life. Okay. I've been channeling. Okay. I don't know any of this for fact. So you have to use your discernment all the time. But I've been channeling that you accrue curses on your life just by living on this planet, just by being here and doing your everyday activities, and things like that. Okay. Using certain products and doing business with certain companies. And when I say doing business, I mean buying things. Okay. Or using a service, something that you need. Okay. You can have a curse placed on your life or your abundance, your past, present, or future, your children, by doing just ordinary things that you wouldn't think are placing some sort of curse or hex on your life. Okay? Let me get a deck of cards. I'm in my room. Let me get a deck of cards. I think I'm gonna need one. I think I'm gonna need a deck of cards here. Let me get this deck. Yeah, collective. So that's my first message, is that I believe, based on my channeling, what I've been feeling, is that everybody has this in some way, shape, or form. Everybody has hexes and curses on them, knowing and unknown. Okay? There's a lot of ways to know if there's a curse or a hex on you, and if people are targeting you, or if they're not targeting you. Like if you know if somebody's targeting you, like you could pick up on this, like, all right, this person is always watching me, stalking me, this is what I'm talking about. Like, that somebody is targeting you. Okay? Like, they're specifically bothering you. Okay? And then there's hexes and curses where you don't know who it is. Okay? It's being done it's like it's being done with your consent, but it's not. Okay? You're consenting, but you don't know you're consenting. Okay? Like, if, for example, if I'm running a store, okay, oh, you know what? Even better. I'll go back to the example I was using with the talisman in a taxi cab that I heard on another video. Okay, this video was about a man who was in some type of cult or whatever, and he had a talisman that he put in his taxi. He was a taxi cab driver, and everybody that came in that cab was being sacrificed for him, even though they were paying for him, you know, to even have some sort of business. That talisman in that car was sacrificing the people that came in the car, and the people did not know that some sort of curse or hex was happening to them. It's the same kind of concept. Okay, it's like you doing something and you don't know. You know, when you do this act, you don't know that it's doing something. Okay, but it is. Okay, it's not happening to your knowledge, but it's happening. All right, this is nothing new. All right, I'm putting out this message because I feel like field. Yeah, I know the divine wants me to talk about this field business. I'm gonna get to it, but I'm trying to stick to one thing at a time because there's so much that I want to say. When you do something, okay, you're unknowingly consenting to some sort of curse or hex. Okay, these are the curses and hexes that you need to really break. Okay, these are the ones you really need to break. They are the hidden ones that you don't know about. They're the hidden ones that you don't know about, and they are they're affecting your life whether you realize it or not. Now I can't go too much into detail as to who and what, but I will say that what I'm saying should be enough for the collective to know what I am referring to. I'm gonna put my phone on the stand. Okay, so that's one part of the message, is that, let me just sum it up here. There's people who are being cursed and hexed unknowingly, and you are consenting without knowing that you're consenting. So these are the curses and hexes you need to focus on breaking in your life. However you do that is between you and yourself and your life. I don't give advice on how to do that. So everybody has their way of doing things, and that's how it should be. So, but just know that that's there. Okay. Now I can touch a little bit on how you know there's a curse or hex on your life. You probably know this already, but maybe you don't. One major way you can know is if you're a person that is very diligent and you have what it takes to succeed. Okay. You may notice this, like when you work somewhere or your job, it's always something that's coming against you. It's like you have the potential to do what everybody else does, but it's always something. That's the hex and the curse. That's it right there. That's something that's always getting in your way, or a person. What this person is doing, or what the spirit or entity that is possessing this person is doing, is they're targeting you, and they are putting a hex on you so that you don't succeed. They want the success that is to come for you. They see it, okay? no matter how they see it, with cards or possession, demonic possession, the gift of some sort of foresight that this demon is giving them, or they just feel it. They can feel it, like they can see it, they can hear it in you. They can feel it off of you, and their envy, that envy they feel lets them know, yeah, this person is heading somewhere and I want it. Okay? This is what these people do. So you need to break these hexes and curses that are knowing and unknowing in your life, because it's there. And just because you don't know it's there doesn't mean it's not happening, which is why it's unknowing. And when you work somewhere, you sign documents. When you do anything where you're agreeing to something, you're getting into something, like the cab. The cab is a perfect example. Somebody is willingly opening the door. They're agreeing to open the door, get in the cab, close it, get into something, a closed space, and go somewhere. They're giving their full, you have to consent. You don't just go somewhere with anybody. You don't go somewhere with anybody. So if you get into a cab and go somewhere, you're consenting. This is a form of consent. You trusting this ride. So that's how I think that person was able to do that. Okay. I'm be honest with you. In this day and age, and when I said that it was 12:03 on the clock, I'm telling you. In this day and age, this needs to be a part of your daily routine. Okay? It needs to be a part of your daily routine. And that's the message from the divine that I've been receiving to deliver to you. I stated my disclaimer in the beginning of this video. I don't want this video to be too long. When you do things, you are consenting to something, whether you know it or not. This is important for the collective to know, because I think a lot of people don't know this. They're just saying, well, if I'm not signing something with my hand or something else, then I'm not consenting to it. And in a way, you're right. You're not. You're not. But you are. You're unknowingly consenting to it. You are consenting to it. You just don't know it. So there's a difference, okay? So now that you know that you can unknowingly consent to something, whether you know it or not, you are. And now that you know that, you need to remove these consents, which are agreements, hexes, and curses. Consent is aligning with something which allows someone to be cursed until they know. Until they know. So if you know that you are consenting unknowingly, now you can break this hex and this curse. But you have to do it. It has to be a part of your regular routine, because it's happening all the time. We're always consenting to something. With these phones, technology, I'll just say technology. Okay, I'm trying to really make this as little as least controversial and karmic attracting as possible. Okay? Because they're stalking. So please like this video so the collective can hear it. Thank you. If you are somebody who feels like that, like how I described earlier, like the person at work, okay, that's one example. This could be happening to you. You could be consenting unknowingly to a lot of things. And like I said, everybody does this. When you go get gas, you're consenting. I'll leave it at that. So, how could I phrase this? It's happening, okay? I'm choosing not to really get into all this detail of what and how and all of this, okay? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because that information is what is going to help the collective. You'll know it, but it's not going to help you. All it's going to do is attract this negative, low vibrational energy. So I'm skipping past it because I don't want this energy here. They're seeking to destroy. And technology, I'll leave it at technology, or devices, I'll leave it at that, is consent. Every time you pick up your phone, you're consenting. Anything you do, you're consenting. When you brush your teeth, you're consenting to brush your teeth. With what you brush your teeth with, you're consenting with what you brush your teeth with as well. What you're using in your mouth. You're always consenting all the time. Whether it's knowingly or not, you're doing it. Now, back to what I was saying about when you work at a place, you have to sign documents. That's even more consent. Because now you knowingly are consenting. But if you don't read the document and you sign it, you're still knowingly consenting because you signed something and you didn't read it. You consented and you know you did. Because you signed a contract but you didn't read it. Nobody really reads these things. They're way too long. You're trusting. You need a job. You just need a damn job. You understand? So you sign it. You consent. And whatever happens at this job happens. You've consented to it. And it's in that document. It could be worded in a way you don't understand, even if you do read it, but you signed it. So now you need to work on unsigning it or trying to remove any curses or hexes is what I call them. You can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's something bad. Okay? Now you have to work on removing that and undoing it off of yourself and your life or whatever. Whatever you didn't know, you need to try to either find out or just get it, find out, is this what's holding me back in life? Did I sign to something that I wasn't aware of? More than likely, yes, because we all do it. So people say, oh, how come they didn't read the contract? You didn't read it either. You didn't read it either. Everybody does this. So we shouldn't judge anybody who signed something and didn't read it, because we all do it. And just because we're doing it for a job that we need or a job that we think is not cursing or hexing us doesn't make it any better, because they probably are. contracts are, I'm gonna be honest with you, you need to read them. You're signing it, which makes you knowingly consenting. I'm not going to call it a trick. I'm not, because it's not a trick, because you can read it. So it's not a trick. But what it is cunning. That's a better word. It's very cunning. So you need to be smart with anything you sign. Now, even if you like click a box, you check a box, that's a contract. Do you agree? Yes. You consented. You probably didn't read it, did you? No. The link is there to read it, to click on it, and who in they mama does that? Nobody. Nobody does that. They just click and go because you just want whatever is there. Like, all right, do you agree to this? Yeah, whatever. Just let me download it or let me use it. So you're consenting knowingly and unknowingly every day. When you use these things, I'm going to call them these things here, okay? When you use these things that you want to use on your devices and you're consenting to something, you are consenting to whatever is in that document that you're not reading, and you're consenting to it, whether you think so or not. You just did it. So for you to deny it would make you in denial, which is a lie. Now you're lying to yourself and you're deceiving yourself. It's still affecting your life, whether you want to believe it or not, whatever you just did, that consent that you just made. So there's different types of consenting, knowing and unknowing. In other ways, I'm sure there's too, but I'm trying to keep this video not 5 hours. Let me make sure I got everything out about that portion of this reading. I'll pull a card or two on it and see what it says. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Ace of Pentacles. Yes. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. It's all about physical abundance. It's all about the pentacle, which is a good symbol. In the upright, the pentacle and the pentagram is a good symbol, if you don't know that. In the upright, okay? And like everything else, like all symbols, okay? But Six of Pentacles in reverse is telling me that these, and it's so funny, in this image here, okay, there's a man holding, there's a woman sitting at a desk like she's at work. I'm telling you, if you could see this image, child. She's sitting down, and there's a man here, like her boss. He looks like, looks like your typical boss, bald white man with glasses on in a suit. And he's holding these documents in his hand. He has all his plaques on the wall, his degrees and bull crap, his awards. And she's looking at him. Her back is turned, and she's looking at him. You can't see her face. And that confirms what we're talking about, these contracts and these things, right? And the fact that her face is not showing shows that she doesn't know what she's about to get into when she signs it with this man, but he knows. He knows what she's about to get into. And then we have Ace of Pentacles. So whatever she's signing is for her Ace of Pentacles. It's for her blessing and her gift from the divine. It's a way to take your Ace of Pentacles without you knowing. And you consenting to give it over to them without you knowing. This, in my opinion, is a curse or a hex. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. But that's what's taking place. Now, this field thing, okay? This field thing. that I said by accident that I feel like the divine wants me to talk about. Okay. There's a lot going on. There's a lot. I need to just choose what I'm going to actually talk about. All right. Let me just touch on the animals first. I'm going to get this out the way because it's not going to be too long. All right. Pet and vet is here. Pet and vet is here. And vet could be short for veterans. Okay, this is what, okay. Before I get into the pet thing, there's another thing the divine is reminding me in my body to talk about. Hold on. I don't know if you remember if you watch my channel, but Pile of Clothes was coming out. I have a card called Pile of Clothes, okay? This is something that I meant to talk about yesterday, but I didn't make another reading, so I was tired. These witches, okay, that need to be burned to the stake are hexing people's clothes in their homes. This is the second time I'm experiencing it, which means I could be channeling it, or the divine is showing me something to tell the collective. Either way, it's taking place. Pile of Clothes kept coming out. And at the time, yes, the message could have been somebody is hiding something in a pile of clothes, but what exactly are they hiding? They could be hiding a curse and a hex in the pile of clothes. They could also be hiding a weapon or something else. But I had a reflection moment on this Pile of Clothes card because I put on a top and I felt this feeling in my body that was not normal. These people need to be burnt at a stake. That's what needs to happen to them. Because what they're doing is absurd. To say the least, it's absurd. They're heinous acts of witchcraft. And they need to be burnt at the stake, every single one of them that is doing this willingly and unwillingly. I don't care. They need to be burnt at the stake because these people, I will keep emphasizing, are murderers. I don't care. They are murderers using magic and witchcraft. Pile of clothes. They're hiding something in the pile of clothes. They're doing some sort of spell or curse or hex for when you put on something, when you put on your clothes, and these clothes could be coming out of a pile of clothes, like if your laundry or something, okay? Somebody is doing a hex that when you put on your clothes, something happens to your body, which would make something else happen. Somebody is using spell work to try to control your body when you put on an article of clothing because they need to be burnt at a fucking stake. And I call on our ancestors to bring justice to these situations concerning this witchcraft, which is a very, very popular act. But when you start trying to control people's bodies, you need to be put on the stake and roasted. Period. This is evil. This is sneaky. And this is going to have serious repercussions to these people that are doing it. It's going to be so serious when these people get exposed for what they're doing. Like I said, hanging came out twice. I don't know why hanging came out. Maybe some parts of the world they're still doing things like this. I don't know. But I know that that's a very bad word. Maybe it's something they did in the past, child. I don't know. But the other day, there's a card deck that I have, and I swear to you, judgment came out, and there were 3 people hanging in the background on the card. But it looked like an image from maybe back in the day or something like that. Okay? But somebody is hexing, doing a hex. When somebody puts clothes on, it makes their body do something. It's like somebody is doing a hex when you put on clothes. They're trying to tell the hex to make your body do this because they're trying to control your body. This person's destiny is on the line with the divine. Whoever you are and whatever you are, if you're listening, the divine knows who you are and is telling us who you are and is going to expose you. And you will be punished for these spiritual crimes. You are being punished now. Because this is wickedness. Leave people's bodies the fuck alone. These people are sick and they're crazy. And they need to be locked up somewhere. Because these kind of crimes are unnatural and they're insane. And I've had several confirmations of it. And the divine just gave me another one to let me know, to let the collective know that they're doing stuff like this. And that they will and they are being punished now. They're being found out. Their crimes are coming to the light and they're being exposed. They're being prosecuted, whatever you want to call it. But they're going to serve justice for what they're doing. And the divine is making sure every single one of these people are going to serve justice that are doing this. Every single one of them. Every single one of them, known and unknown, will serve justice, is serving justice now for what they are doing to people with this witchcraft shit. It is a long, tedious process, but I promise you, the divine knows, ancestors know, spirit guides know, angels know. So that's what they're doing here. They're trying to control people's bodies because they don't have any sense and they're crazy. And they're psychopaths. These are literal psychopaths doing magic. These are people who are mentally deranged doing witchcraft. I wouldn't even call it magic. It's witchcraft. It's evil. I wouldn't even call it witchcraft. It's evil, cursing, and hexing. That's what it is. Because witchcraft can go into a lot of different things. It can go into a lot of different things. I would say this person is evil, doing very evil, bad spell work, curses, and hexes. That's what it's called. That's what it is that they're doing. Because again, spells are not bad. If you're a bad person doing bad things, then yes, it's bad. These people are bad. Okay? They're bad. They're doing bad things because they're possessed. They're possessed by demons. These are mentally deranged. Not only are they possessed by demons, but they're mentally deranged. They're mentally deranged and they're possessed and they're doing evil curses and hexes on people. And they're finding these people online and through outlets of different things that you are consenting to every day. When you press play on your favorite jam, you're consenting to something. Know that you're doing that. Just know that when you press play, you're consenting to something. And that's it. I don't care what you want to think, what you want to believe.
You can click off the video. I don't care. That's what the fuck you're doing. That's why you need to be careful. There's a reason why a lot of religious groups renounce music, okay? I love music. But there's a real serious reason why they renounce music. Because unfortunately, I got a message about music the other day. I don't know if I'm gonna get into it on this. I'm already at 35 minutes, so, but it was very enlightening, okay? That you're consenting. So every time you listen to it, you are doing it over and over and over. When you sing, you are consenting. When you dance, you are participating in something. I will leave it at something. You know this already. If you don't know, you know now. And it's not so much that you're consenting. That's the least of things. It's what you are doing in that consent. It's what you are consenting to. And it involves these psychopaths. Now, moving on to the pets thing. Okay, the pets and the vets. Veterans could also be involved here. Because again, when you become a soldier or whatever they call you in these groups, army, whatever you want to call it, they're different branches, whatever. I'm not going to get into that because it's not important. But if you sign up for that, this is another form of consent. So you could be feeling like you have a curse or hex on you. You probably do, that you need to break. Okay? You need to, and it's probably more than one. So just work on that however you do that. Now, the vet and pet. Okay, animal sacrifice is a very big thing. It comes out on the channel all the time because they do it. Okay? And they could be using cats right now. All right? So if you have a cat, all right, you could also be, somebody could also be trying, I mean, like I said, I share a lot of stuff with the collective that I channel. Okay? And I said the other day that they are having your animals stare at you. Okay? Whatever this thing is, this evil witch that needs to be burnt at the stake is doing, it involves cursing you without being seen. So they could do it if you're very close with your animal. They're going to try to do this because they're mentally deranged, possessed by demons, and doing evil curses and hexes on people. All three boxes are checked off. And the last box is punishment. It's going to be checked off. It's getting checked off now. Now, just be aware of this. Praying over your animal, loving your animal, knowing when your animal is monitoring you is important. Excuse me. Knowing when your animal is, somebody is doing spell work to cause gas and force you to go to the bathroom. You cannot tell me or pay me any amount of money to believe these people are not harvesting energy off of poop in the toilet. And certain people's poop. They are. I'm moving forward. They're crazy and they're psychotic. Okay. Just do that with the animal, okay? Um, Pray over them, know when they're monitoring you. When you're looking in a mirror and your animal is staring at you, you need to be very careful. You need to kindly usher your animal into the other room and put something on TV for them, a toy, a treat, or something. When you are looking into a mirror and your animal is monitoring you, it's like when I say monitoring, I mean watching you, you need to kindly move them into another place. You need to be aware when your animal is watching you. There's something very, something you need to be aware of when they're watching you, because somebody is using your animal as a camera in your home. Okay? Because they're one, mentally deranged, evil, demon possessed, and need to be punished. They are being punished. They are. They are. You don't get aligned with them being punished. You need to get aligned with them being punished. Every single day you pray against this and break it and bring it down. You bring this shit down and it will crumble in your life. Now, that's why they're doing it. Because the shit is crumbling. They're getting really desperate. They're doing really outrageous things. And the more outrageous things they do, the more this is going to crumble. It's going to be it's going to destroy people. You're going to see strange things if you haven't already. And what that leads me into is that what you're seeing is not what is there. There's a lot of illusions going on when it comes to the people that are doing this. Just know that when you're seeing something, it's more than likely an illusion. It's not what you think you see. Now, that's with the pet here. You can try a little rose water, just boiled rose petals. I'm not responsible for anything you do to your animal. I'm not. So when you do something, do your research and use your discernment. But I'm telling you what can work. Okay, what can work, may work for you. Pure rose water, not chemicals and like anything bought out of store. Just rose petals boiled. Just water in the petals boiled. Cool, not hot. Do not spray hot water on your animal. This could help. Again, do your research. If your dog shows allergies to this, you might want to test it, or your cat shows allergies. But just a gentle mist, okay, helps, because these things don't like things. But animals cannot have garlic, so you do not want to put garlic near your animal. It can hurt them. And these things don't like garlic, so don't do that. But rose water seems to be safe. Again, do your research and use your discernment every time you hear anything online from anybody. These things are trying to possess people's animals. These people are psychopaths. Again, evil, possessed by demons, and are being punished. And they're coming for people who are not being punished, who are good, who are not out here trying to slay people with magic, or not even magic, curses and hexes. Something is going on and you're not seeing it. Just know that. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. There's a lot going on and you're not seeing it, but you could be seeing it. Excuse me, I want to rephrase that. There's a lot going on that is not seen by the naked eye, but you can see it with your mind's eye. If you're looking at it with your mind's eye, you will see it. If you're not, if you're looking at it with the eyes in your head and nothing further than that, you'll just see what is in front of your face. But just know that it's an illusion. Now, a place that you shop at frequently, or something you do a lot. Whatever it is you do a lot, that means you're consenting a lot to it. You need to make sure that you're breaking any curses or hexes or unknowing consents that you're doing that could be affecting your life and your progress in life and your success. Okay? And that involves going to work. You go to work every day. Most people go to work every day. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Break it. Now, field. Let's get into this field and I'm going to close out this reading. We're at 45 minutes. Field. All right. Slavery happened. Okay? Slavery happened. Yes, there were people out in the field working. And then there were people in the house. The house. This term is very important. The divine needs you to understand what the house is. Anything that calls itself the house is involved with slavery. Period. You could know this or you could not know this. I don't know what you know. Okay. But house is significant. Any group that refers to themselves as a house is significant. It has to do with slavery. Nothing has changed. I know you've heard this a million times. We are still slaves. I don't like this term, but I must say that if you are not aware of what is going on, then you kind of are. That doesn't apply to everybody. Some people are tapped in and aware. Okay? But field. Most of us are in the field working. Just like they showed you in the movies. They've already created this depiction. They've already made sure that you've seen it, even if you weren't living during that time. They made sure to make sure that you know what was happening by showing you in these movies. So you have an image in your mind of who you are. That's why they showed you. It's like to show you who you are. Or their projection is a projection onto you of who they want you to be or whatever. Okay? But like I said, if you're not aware, then you kind of are. Okay? You need to be aware. Awareness is important. Now, the field. That's where we are. We're out in the field working. We're living our lives. It's a different kind of field. It's not the field you see in the movies, but it's a larger field. It's much bigger. It's more it looks more pleasing. Okay, it's more pleasing to the eye, this field that we're in. Okay, it comes with rooms and doors and closets and bathrooms and nice tiles. This field is not dusty, dirty, and hot and unpleasant. It comes with air conditioning, this field. Okay, and we're in it. And then there's the house. There's the house where the field don't go into. They stay in the outback. They stay out in the field. They don't go into the house. Nothing has changed. There are people who are never going to go into the house. If you hear me, then you hear me. Okay? We're going to be in the field. We're not ever going into the house. We're just not going there. But then there are people who do go into the house. the master picked people to go into the house. And they were called house slaves, or other words that start with an N. But they were still slaves. It didn't change. These were just people that Massa favored and wanted them close by for when they needed them for something. That's why they were there. Not because they're better than you. Not because they have more talents and gifts than you. No, not for any of those reasons. Because Massa seen something different in this slave and said, I want you in the house with me. I want you in the house with me. I want you next to me for what you can do for me. You're still a slave, boy, nigga, whatever, slave, whatever. Because this is not about race here. This is not about race. I promise you, everybody's in the house. It don't matter what color you are. But Master said, I want these people in the house with me. And they're very selective on who they bring in the house. But those people are still slaves. And when they're ready to do what they do with these house slaves, just like they do with the field slaves. Okay? I'm saying slaves because I need to explain that I personally feel that that is how we are looked at. Okay? That doesn't mean that's what we are. But it doesn't mean that that's not how people perceive us. And I believe they still perceive us as such. And that's not going to change. So, awareness is important. There are some people who are in the house, okay? These slaves, these house slaves. And Massa is picking, no pun intended, but Massa is picking. Okay? Just know that when there are large things going on in the world, when there are large events coming up, okay, and whatever these events are, okay, I'm not going to get into this. They're just large events that are taking place in the world, okay? If you know what that is, then you know what that is. There's things going on in the world, and they're very big right now. A lot of big changes are taking place in the world. Maybe not in your life, but in the world. In the house. And Master is picking. I'm not going to read off all the words here. But what I want to say is that there are people, these house slaves is what I'm going to call them. They consented knowingly to things. And they're doing really wicked things to try to avoid these consents that they made. Okay? And that involves harming the collective. These people had to do something to be in that house and out of the field. But remember, they're still a slave, but they don't want to be a field slave. They'd rather be a house slave. Somebody was tired of being in the field, but they had to do something to be in the house and to stay in the house. And that entails looking out in the field and picking. Just like Massa is picking out of them, they looking out in the field and picking out of us. Okay? That's why you need to break these curses that have been played. Not just generational curses. That's great. Okay, they exist. Yes, you need to break those too. But I'm talking about these things that you consent to every day that you don't know about. Because they're out here doing it. So it needs to be a part of your daily routine to break these things that these people are doing unknowingly in your life. And they're doing, like, especially, okay? If there is somebody in your family, okay, who is involved with this fucking bullshit. If there is somebody, if you are someone who is, what's the word? I don't want to say woke. I don't like that word too much, but I don't know how else to describe this here. If you're someone who is not sleep, okay, then you more than likely have somebody in your family that is doing this. And there's a lot of people like that. Because the devil is using that person to get you. That's all it is here. Who in the collective family is the weakest link? Who's involved with this already? Let's get in spiritual contact with that person and let's set something up here. That's it. That's the conversation. So you have to stay away from these people and you have to fight them off spiritually and understand that they want to stay in the house. They do. There's a reason why the collective is not in the house. Because we're not willing to do what it takes to be in the house. We're good with being out here in the field. Because we're not selling ourselves. We're not prostituting ourselves to be in the house. But some people do. A lot of people do. But Master's picking from them too. And they're trying to pick from us because they think they're Master. You need to show these people they are not Master. They're not nobody. And you need to break these curses that they're putting. These people, I'm telling you, for a lot of the collective, they doing this shit every day. And I've said this before. They do it every day, and so do we. We have to do it every day too. Because they're doing it every day. Because they really want to stay in the house. And they don't want to be picked by Master. That's your reading.